think the first few days I was here. Oh, I didn't have a coffee maker. Didn't have my coffee maker. I don't know if I thanked the Lord for my ex-wife this morning when I was getting out of bed or not, but I will right now, because thank the Lord for my ex-wife and the fact that she packed me up my coffee maker, because this morning would be a lot harder without it. Good morning from Nashville, Mike. Hello, Gary Beatty. Hello, Lisa Olson. Hello, Mortgage Zeus. Hello, T.Y. Prim from Alabama. Hello, RJ. I'm going back. I don't know, Black Horse. I think what is the point of life, Black Horse asked. Oh, that's such a heavy question so early. Let me think about that. See if anyone else. Hello, Neckham May. Rarely do I go backwards, but it's kind of fun to go backwards. Feels like you're really popular because you're looking at all random comments. What is the point of life? Black Horse is sticking at it. What is the point of life? What is the point of life? I mean, wow, I don't know. Faith. I mean, without faith or without, it's certainly a hell of a lot harder, I'll tell you that. Yeah. Without friends, certainly a lot harder. Without love. Even seeing a picture of my little nugget of love, Augie, kind of raised my spirits this morning. The point of life is to live. Well, there you go. There you go. See, you got all the answers. You got all the answers. What do you need me for? You don't. You should go back to bed. Go back to bed. I offer no value to you. Zero. Can't even answer the simple questions like, what is the point of life? It's to live. Yeah. But anyway, good morning to you. My name is Ken Tracy, and this is Coffee with Ken. It is Saturday morning. It is Mortgage Juice is chiming in that life is about oats and peppermint treats. Good morning, Tommy John. I've never had an oat and peppermint treat. Maybe that's why I'm having a challenging morning this morning. But anyway, again, it is Saturday morning. It is 5:25 a.m. About August, 17th. Happy Saturday. Mike says he loves mornings and being up early. I do a lot of times too. I'm working my way towards that, though. Good morning, Jess from Boston. I'm not at the... Well, I mean, I'm smiling. I know I have a hot cup of coffee in front of me. I know it's pumpkin spice. I know it's still dark outside, all of which I enjoy. I know I can do my show, drink my coffee. It'll still only be 6:30 at the latest. If I talk for a while. I don't know if you guys want to listen to me talk that long. And I'll be able to crawl back into bed and maybe get back to sleep, because I need more sleep. I am telling you. Somebody's on Martha's Vineyards. Simple pleasures are some of the best. Oh, they certainly are. Hello, T.Y. Prim. But anyway, yeah, this is a show I've been doing for quite some time. It's a show about me talking. It's a show about me sharing some feelings. And let me tell you, the only feeling I woke up this morning with was doubt. I used to write a lot. I wake up, I always kind of enjoyed writing, but about, I don't know, right at the beginning of Coffee with Ken, I'd wake up in the morning, my mind would be racing. This was probably right before Coffee with Ken started. I was living in a dark apartment, missing the woman of my dreams. Had enough of the career of real estate I was in. Had doubts all over. And I would wake up and I'd have all these emotions, and none of them were positive. None of them were positive. And, occasionally there were some positive ones. I wrote some good ones. But I'd write and I'd go, I woke this morning with thoughts of doubt. And I'd just say it. And I'd lay it out there. And I'd say whatever feeling I was going through. I woke this morning with sadness or loss or love in my heart occasionally on a good day. And that would be the start of my writing. And then I would go, I would write very quickly and just kind of free flow thoughts. And I would post them to Facebook. And people would go, wow, you're such a great writer. Oh, it's so beautiful. There were some beautiful words put down, but it was just kind of this in writing. And this in writing, might be prettier than this that you're looking at right now. I look much better on the back of a book. That's me posing on the back of a book I wrote. But anyway, those that have been watching a while, it's not just a show about me talking. Well, let me get some water. You can hear. Well, Logan, God, the Lord has blessed me, and I think it's good that you said that. Because I was not feeling blessed this morning. But anyway, I'm excited to have my first sip of coffee. And my hope is wherever you are and whatever you're doing, that you have a hot cup of coffee in front of you as well. Cheers to us. That was nice. That was real nice. I put the lid on it just to savor the heat. Savor the flavor. As if, maybe it does. Maybe it does. The little pumpkin spice aroma and heat, it floats away with the heat and the warmth. Are there things I care about that you think about and are not worth your time? Oh, yeah. Almost everything I'm worried about. Almost everything I'm worried about isn't worth our time. I had somebody hop on and go, well, aren't you worried about your this or aren't you worried about that? And I get that asked that a lot because I kind of charge forward whether I have the all my ducks in a row or not. I don't know what other direction to go. I can't just sit there and align my ducks because you got to keep going forward. So I think worry is not worth our time. Good morning, Chip Bond. I hope you're happy I'm here on Instagram. I know how upset you get with me when I'm on TikTok. I decided to not go live on either venue yesterday. And I woke up and I had a great night's sleep and I felt so comfortable in bed and just didn't feel like being... Don't take it the wrong way. I love all you guys. I love all you guys. But yesterday morning I felt quiet and I didn't feel like having questions thrown at me or being picked at all. Just felt like kind of talking. And just kind of being quiet and looking out the window and drinking my coffee and saying whatever the heck came to mind. Because I woke with a quiet mind and I slept in. This morning, I did not sleep in, and I did not wake up with a quiet mind. I woke up with doubts. Mortgage Zeus says, "I bet I'm happy to be home with the kids. It is nice. It is nice, but again, that's strokes, pangs of missing them. It wasn't when I was in Yellowstone. It wasn't like out of sight, out of mind. I missed my kids. I cried every day when I saw them on FaceTime. But for some reason, I don't know. It was like a different world, if you will, a different world, and it just felt a little different. And the feelings, I was there. I had work to do. I had rest to get, and then I had more work to do. And life was very simple, and I was fed, and I was housed, and couldn't see anybody I knew or loved because they were all 1,500 miles away. So I hung out with the elk. Hello, Will Belchill. I'm happy to see you this morning. You make me smile. I still love my Tumblr you got me, Will Belchill. Thank you again. But yeah, it's great to see him, obviously. And this morning I woke and I had a lot of doubts in my mind, and I worked last night. And for most of you that know, I got back from Yellowstone a couple weeks ago, and 2 weeks ago yesterday. And I pulled into this extended stay America where I am staying in front of you, where I am in front of you right now. Trying to reestablish myself in society, and yeah. And anyway, I went out the next day. I was full of, I might not have been full of energy or enthusiasm, but I knew I had a job to do, and that job was finding a job. And I went out and I walked into 5 nice restaurants in Naperville, and was offered a job the next night, and started working and started training. And I don't know if anyone out there has been a waiter before, but just like any other job, you got to go through some training. But as a waiter trainee, you kind of shadow a waiter, an experienced waiter, and you try and learn as much as you can and pick up as much as you can and help as much as you can. But you're also just trying to stay out of the way. I have a great need to feel productive and to feel like I'm adding value. And if the biggest value I'm adding is staying out of the way and trying to learn the menu a little bit better, sometimes that can be tough. So anyway, I went through the whole training period at a job that I thought was cool and fun and sexy and going to be awesome and this and that. And right at the end, on the last day of training, I think somebody had returned, and there weren't going to be enough shifts to go around, so they weren't going to need me. And I'm sure my boss's boss was doing me a favor when he told me that, but it didn't feel like a favor at that time. It felt like a gut punch, and I think it was a gut punch, and because I was excited. It was a fun atmosphere and fun food and fun cocktails. It wasn't perfect. I'll tell you, I think they were surprised that I wasn't planning on drinking alcohol, or tasting the alcohol or sipping the wine. Because my boss would do a wine tasting before every shift. And as the cocktails are being made, the front house manager told my trainer to make sure I taste each drink before it goes out. And those moments were a little uncomfortable for me because, they knew I didn't drink. I thought they understood when I said I didn't drink, that it meant I didn't drink. I guess they thought it meant I drank a little. But again, I think for me, if I would have started tasting the wine, and I'm not terrified, and I don't think I was even an alcoholic, but I do know for me, my habits come in big bunches. And if I would have started tasting the wine or tasting a cocktail, I would have gone, that wasn't so bad. I didn't go crazy. Wasn't ranting and raving, drunk. at the restaurant, so maybe I can try it at home, and maybe I'll just have a small one glass of wine tonight and one Heineken, and I don't know. I've been down that road before. I go down that road every day. I go to the grocery store. I don't know. I have a craving for something sweet, and I go, let's see if Ben and Jerry's is on sale, and it's not. So I skip it, and then I go down and I go, I guess I won't buy ice cream today. That's good. I don't need it. It's not good for me. And then I'll keep going through the ice cream aisle, and I'll glance to my right, and I'll see a brand called Kemp's is on sale for 2 big vats for $8. I go, it's a good deal. I can't afford not to buy it. And then I'll bring it home and I'll eat a vat over a couple days. And I might eat the next vat the next day. So it's best for me. I guess my point is it's best for me not to buy the ice cream. Or not even to be working at that restaurant. Because I think they wanted me to try the drinks. And it's a party scene. And it was a fun scene. And it felt like being in a club. And I remember the last night I worked there before I came in for my last day of training and they let me go. But I was feeling, hey, wow, this is a fun place to be. Windows are down, air's flowing through, music's pumping, everyone's having a good time. I'm almost dancing. I'm kind of doing one of these. So is everybody. Yeah, it wasn't meant to be. But it wasn't meant to be. You know what it's meant to be? One more sip of coffee right now. So I cried. I first fumed. I told my boss's boss what I thought of his decision. And let me tell you, it wasn't a positive. I wasn't very positive about his decision. It didn't feel like it was very fair to me at the time. But whether it was fair or not, it was his decision. And it was my decision to let him know what I thought about his decision, and I did. But anyway, I went down and I sat in the lobby and saw an employee, a nice woman that barely spoke English, but we tried to communicate as best we could. And she was on the phone, but she saw I was sad. And she said, I'm so sorry. And she was. It felt nice. But I continued to sit there and cry. Not a cry, but tears were flowing. And but anyway, after licking my wounds for a couple days, not a couple days, about half an hour, I talked to another place, and they weren't really hiring, but I did set an appointment to meet with a different restaurant and work there, or interview there, and I did, and I got hired, and kind of felt like deja vu all over again, and starting over, or starting from beginning, or starting from scratch, or starting on day one of training, where I'm going to have to shadow a server around and stay out of their way and try and help where I can. And last night was day 2 of that, and I was tired. I was tired. The pumping music wasn't there. The cool feeling wasn't there. It was just a night of training and standing and running around and trying to learn things and feeling like you're in the way and not feeling productive and trying to help where you can. But again, I think I thrive and feel good if I'm productive. And I talked about like mowing the lawn a lot before. You can go out and mow your lawn and invest, 45 minutes or an hour into mowing it and trying to make the lines straight. And suddenly you have a beautiful looking yard. And you see the work you've done and you feel good about it. But some jobs, and real estate was like this, some jobs you could not see the fruits of your labor. And I'll tell you what, training at a restaurant, you know, you're moving forward. You have a training schedule worked out, but there's several days of training in front of you. I got a long day of training ahead of me today. I can't say I was super excited about when I woke up this morning. It gave me doubts. I admire my fortitude. Grit is among the biggest determinants of success. Well, thank you, Gary. I've got 2 scoops of grit. I got so much grit, I even might have grit in my teeth. I did have grit. While in Yellowstone, many of you may know, I went to a rodeo on a windy day. And let me tell you, you don't want to go to a rodeo on a particularly windy day. I don't even think the cowboys wanted to be there. Their success rate on lassoing the steer or whatever, the cows or whatever they lasso, was not high. Because I imagine, just like hitting a golf shot into the wind, it's probably even harder to throw a lasso from a moving horse into a huge wind. Try the hotel industry. You'd be a good manager. No, RJ wants to know how much training. No, it's, no. It is just 4, maybe 5 shifts. 2 closing shifts, which I did one last night, and I'll have one tonight. And 2 open shifts, which I'll do this week. And what I realized, and it was kind of stunning, when I was working back in Yellowstone, when we were working. There was like 5 days straight of double shifts, almost. And it was, they tried to keep us under 40 hours. They didn't want to pay overtime, but there were periods that overlapped both, 2 weeks where you'd work huge amounts of hours. And so I looked at the schedule, and it'll be nice because I got a couple days off in a row. I think Sunday and Monday I'll have off. But honestly, where I'm at right now, I need to be making a lot of money, and I need to be working, and I need to be covering my expenses and moving forward and getting a more permanent house and getting a more permanent mode of transportation. And I don't know. I'm going to shut this air conditioner off. Hold on. And perhaps this morning when I woke and I was tired from last night's shift and I wasn't as excited or as proud or as encouraged or as feeling good about the progress that's been made. And maybe I should be, and maybe it's okay that I wasn't, but yeah. I'll tell you what, there's coffee. There is coffee, and it tastes really good. I made the Sumatra yesterday. It's good to be back to the pumpkin spice. I might have to run to the store and get some more. Maybe pick up a couple other flavors. I signed up here for a month, by the way, for those that care. They do offer discounts for the longer you stay, and I was realizing I wanted the flexibility to come and go and wasn't sure exactly what the future was holding for me, and had hopes of getting more permanent residence and what have you. So I only signed up for a week at a time the first couple weeks. But yesterday, as I was talking to the general manager, I was realizing how big of a discount a month would be, and signed up for a month. So this is where you're going to be watching me for the next month. So, hey, cheers to this. I don't know if it was my greatest moment yesterday while I was training. It's a smaller, crowded restaurant that I work in. And I came from Yellowstone, where it was a huge restaurant. Spatially, it was the one dining room for the whole Mammoth Hot Springs Hotel and the whole Mammoth Hot Springs community. So, we had a lot of people coming in, and it was busy all the time, and it had a lot of space between tables and a lot of space between the kitchen and your section, or the section and the bar, and you'd have to walk a ton. I cannot tell you. but you did. And the restaurant I work at now is very compact. Very compact. Amazingly compact. I bet it's, I was going to say a quarter, but it might be a third the size of the restaurant I worked at in Yellowstone. But they pack the customers together and the employees together and the kitchen together and the dishwasher together. And, it's all very, I guess, efficient. But sometimes with efficiency, it gets kind of crowded. And let me tell you, when you're trying to stay out of the way on a training shift on a busy Friday night, when, by the way, it rained, and I'll get to that later, but you're trying to stay out of the way. And there was a point in the evening when I did not stay out of the way. And my feet and the feet of a waitress that I was working with, not training under, but just working with, got entangled. And it was just a small stumble at first. But let me tell you, that small stumble led to a stagger, led to a spill, led to Ken hitting the ground. I would like a video of it. I mean, I felt a little foolish, but it was actually kind of I could have been hurt. It was hard ground, and I went down fairly hard, but I rolled through it. And it was almost one of those things, as clumsy as it is to fall, if you can fall with such style and with such grace and with such panache, it's almost cool. So I've got a crowded restaurant, tables all around. They're probably not staring at me, but some 6'2", bald, 56-year-old, I'm just getting used to that, by the way, which is 7 times 8, hits the ground fairly hard. They were all worried about me. And I was wondering, do I look like some doddering fool that is too old to be here? Or am I some doddering fool that's too old to be here? Maybe that gave me some doubt. However, I rolled. And I got back up and I went like this, like I'd almost planned it. They were still worried about me. I was saying, no, I'm okay. It's just a flesh wound. Yeah, but I did. Mike would hire me if I knew HVAC. Waitering is the contact sport. It was. I'm telling you. It's a small space. There's a lot of comings and goings, and there's a lot of customers coming through there too. It was very dangerous. It was dangerous. An Olympic waitering event. Speaking of that, they've got a lot of events in the Olympics these days. They have a lot of events in the Olympics these days. And I wonder if it's because there's really a demand for all these extra events, or there's just more cable TV channels with which to show these different events. Saw rock climbing the other day. It wasn't a rock. They climbed up a wall. And I've done a little bit of it. I belonged to a kind of higher-end health club maybe 10 years ago now. And they had a climbing wall, which was kind of neat. And you'd have straps to you. And there'd be little things, little fake rocks with which to grab and pull yourself up. And it's kind of neat. It's probably a pretty good exercise because you're working your legs, your arms. And anytime you're moving your body, you're working your core as well. So it's probably, I'll tell you what, you didn't see many big, out-of-shape people climbing these walls. I don't think, obesity and wall climbing go hand in hand. They don't go well together. Yeah, it's always muscular, like little gymnast people that can do 40 pull-ups that really rock and roll. RJ wants to know how the ankle is. I'll tell you what, this ankle's healing very slowly. Very slowly. Okay, since you asked. It's still got a couple chunks out of it, and it's still sore. It's still sore. And it was 2 weeks ago today. This one wasn't so graceful. I mean, it was sort of graceful. It wasn't graceful, but it was tough. When I crashed my bike on a rocky dirt road right by the Little Bighorn. It was almost Custer's last stand and my last ride. And I went down hard and smashed my ankle between the bike and rocks, and I scraped my knee, and I was fortunate to have a big leather coat on and a helmet, because I would have had some serious damage. And I still had like 1,150 miles to ride. And it was still the morning, and I was still in Montana. And I realized I'd crashed, and I was under my bike, and I said, please, God, hopefully I'm not hurt too bad. And because I was worried, I had to get home. I was somewhere in Montana. I was on a dirt road off a frontage road, or a rock road off a frontage road. I'd gone the wrong way. So I got up and hobbled around and said, that hurts like hell. Pulled my leg out from the bike. Hurts like hell, but I've had this pain before. I don't think I had to go to the hospital for this before. So I was able to lift up my bike. I was worried the bike was broken. Again, it was my transportation getting home. So I've got a scraped up bike and ripped pants, ripped socks, bloody ankle, sore body. And what do? You get back on the bike and you start it up and you go, well, let's keep our fingers crossed, and you start riding. That's what I did. You guys are talking amongst yourselves. I crashed scooters, waitresses. I'm Ken. That could be my thing. It kind of is my thing. I've never fallen down at a restaurant before like that. I mean, I remember once as a little kid, and I've talked about it before, I was running around a corner and I ran into a waitress carrying a tray of Jell-O towards the buffet, and I went down, and I remember still one of my earliest images in life is watching all these Jell-Os jiggle on the floor as I went, holy crud, what just happened to me? So I've fallen down in a restaurant before, but this one was special. This one was special. It was. But anyway, I woke this morning with doubts. And I woke this morning with worry and concern and wondering. I fell down at the restaurant last night. It was a tiring shift. I was in the way. I wasn't being productive. I wasn't being efficient. I didn't make any tips because I was training, not blaming. And had a lot of doubts if I'm doing the right thing, if I'm moving forward in the right direction. Do I suck? Does Coffee with Ken suck? Do I suck as a waiter? Does my restaurant suck? I was thinking a lot of sucky thoughts. Said a little prayer. Thought of things I was grateful for. I struggled with my prayer. Again, I feel bad asking God for anything. I think it's best, at least for me, and I'm not telling anybody how to pray, or even if you should pray. But I think for me, thanking God and finding things to thank God for, saying, not being mad you fell down at your restaurant, or that the shift was tiring, or that you're training 2 weeks in a row, because it's so easy for your mind to go there, or that this isn't the same restaurant that I originally signed up for, or I'm not making enough, or I'm staying in an extended stay, or I might not get to see my kids today, or this or that. But I think if you when I pray, if instead of that, it's more just gratitude and thanking God for what you do have, that you didn't get hurt when you fell, or that you did get to see your kids yesterday, or that you do have a job, or you do have a roof over your head, I find it a lot more productive. And I find it a lot more productive. RJ wants to know, what could have been done to avoid the fall at my restaurant? I'm not blaming the restaurant, believe me. By the way, you know those things, when you mop a floor, you're supposed to put out one of these cones that says wet floor, one of these tent signs that says wet floor. And Apollo says we all have doubts sometimes, even later in life when we think we should have no longer doubt. Yeah. No, I think that's a key point, Apollo, and it's a key thing to remind yourself. I've been doing this show. I've worked on all this meditative stuff and this gratitude stuff and all this self-improvement for 5 years. And I woke this morning going, crap. So let's have a little more coffee to crap. But honestly, as I made my coffee and as I went through my morning and opened the blinds and said, after I found things to be grateful for and moved forward, I don't know, I feel pretty good right now. And again, I think if we don't blow out of proportion any feeling we're having, or we cut us some slack for having doubts or wondering why or whatever, I think the easier it is to let go of the negative feelings and to keep moving and to pour your coffee and go live and do your thing. Chip is going to try a new coffee today on a 24-hour shift. It's a local roast from Rhode Island. That's a dangerous move, a new coffee on a 24-hour shift. Mortgage Zeus says, Mortgage Zeus has another name. I don't remember who Mortgage Zeus is. He's got a real name, and he's got two personalities. Mortgage Zeus when he's trying to sell loans. I'm sure the refinance business is hot. Will Belchill, I appreciate it. Mike, I appreciate it. Yeah. I had a couple more thoughts for you this morning. I don't know what they are. Talked to my daughter at length, who's going off to school on Monday. I took the day off on Monday. I so wish I could. She doesn't need me to go with her to college, but I think it's my first daughter. I wish I could. Her mom and her stepdad are driving her to college and helping her move in, and she's going to be fine, and she's going to do it without me, but I'm still bummed I'm not going. But I am going to go to her mom's house and see her off on Monday, and sure, I'm going to shed some tears as my firstborn heads off to college. Talked to her for a little while yesterday, and it was cute because she's excited but nervous, and I think she's going to do great. And again, I remember just going to college my freshman year like it was yesterday. Not yesterday, several yesterdays ago, but not too long ago. And just excited for her as she goes off into the world. Is the extended stay quiet or a lot of noise? No, it's not a lot of noise. I wouldn't say it's, it's people staying for periods of time that aren't sure where they're going to stay for long periods, but it's good. I stayed in a lot of rather dingy places over the last couple months in hotels that were the lowest price hotel in Bozeman, Montana. I tell you what, it wasn't super pretty on the outside. The room was clean and the air conditioning was cool, and the remote control worked and the TV worked, and the room seemed fine. And I will tell you what, after living in Yellowstone, sharing a room with two kids, and using a communal bathroom and walking on a dirt road or a rocky road to the cafeteria, just having my feet up and being able to do my show and having my coffee maker over my left shoulder feels like a luxury. Knowing that I can climb back in bed and turn on the TV and watch whatever the heck I want. And so it feels nice. Feels nice. Should I go get some more coffee? Do you guys want to get some more coffee? How long have we been talking for? Does anyone remember what time we tuned in today? I was going to say something about the waitress I was training, and she was really good. She did have a interesting way of pluralizing first person, like saying, do we need anything else or are we thinking dessert, or how are we doing? I don't know if you know what I mean. I felt like I should answer, hey, I'm training behind you. I'm only doing okay. I'm doing okay, but I'm getting a little tired. Oh, you weren't talking to me? Oh, you were wondering how they're doing? Oh. Glad I'm not instant. Never when I go live. This is why I tune in. I love how you keep putting one foot in front of the other despite myself. I know, Lisa. I appreciate it. I know what that show's about. But I want... One day I just want to be on the escalator and just kind of cruising along and kicking back. But no matter what, no matter where you are, and I know, I used to have money, and I would be on one of these escalators. I don't mean escalators. One of these. I live near Chicago, and the United Terminal, you got to walk a long way to various spots in the airport to get to your plane on time. And to make it easier for the walkers, they have these moving walkways that it's kind of fun going on, and they have all these cool lights above you, or at least they did last time I was at the airport. And before you get off any one of these moving walkways, there was a voice repeating, you could hear a robotic voice saying, hey, the walkway's ending. I don't know exactly what they said, but it's a kind of a fond memory. But even still, I had money. I was going somewhere cool. I don't know what I was going to do or where I was going to go. But there were still worries and there were still issues at those times. Let me go get some more coffee. Wow, you guys are the sweetest thing. It's so funny. It is so funny how much, man, I love your perspective in life. You're a legend. My perspective's, again, I think fairly poor right now. Everyone have an amazing weekend. Throw up some hands and show Ken. Oh, you're the sweetest thing, Mike. Will there get there again? Oh, you guys are, I'm going to hang on for you guys a little bit. Let me see if I can plug my charger into the phone. It just got red. Let me see. Oh, now we can do this all day. Plus I got more coffee. Hold on. Oh. And telling them. Oh, despite the fact I get to close tonight, and didn't get enough sleep last night. I'm thankful for the sleep I got, and I get to close tonight, and I get to drink this delicious pumpkin spice coffee. And it's Saturday morning. And I will tell you what, last Saturday morning, I slept in and I wanted to head to a breakfast joint that I know of in Naperville. And there was a lot of traffic in the area. I was a little surprised. And I realized it was Saturday morning and it was August. and that the farmers market had started here in Naperville. And I enjoy going there and buying myself a treat or buying myself some fruit. And last week, well, honestly, I started with a $6 huge slab of pumpkin pie cake. They had carrot cake, but I wanted to try the pumpkin pie. I think if I was to do it again, I'd try the carrot cake today. But either way, that's what I started with last week. And I continued to walk around after eating that right on the curb, right there in front of everybody, and didn't care what anybody thought because it was tasty. They had a delicious kind of cream cheese frosting on it that wasn't too sweet, but it was just right. I maybe could go for that again today, although I would do the carrot cake today. But anyway, continue to walk around. It was a beautiful day. The sun was shining. The people were out. The farmers or whatever, the market was bustling. I saw some people I recognized and chatted it up for a little while. And came across this huge basket of peaches. And I said, $2 for this large peach. Maybe you should check it out. And I was looking at them, and a woman ran up to me and said, "Oh, how are the peaches?" And I go, "I don't know. Find one that would be ripe. Which one can I eat?" And she goes, "Well, you smell them." And I go, "I don't know what smells like kind of a peach." I go, "Here, you pick one for me." And she goes, "Oh, this would be a good one." And she goes, "Oh, you need to wash it first." And I go, "I'm not going to wash it. I'm not going to wash it. I'm just going to eat it." She goes, "Oh, you should." "Yeah, but that's not going to happen." So I ate that peach, and it was delicious, and it was juicy, and it was dripping, and it was not too ripe. In other words, I mean, it was perfect. It was perfect. Just, not too squishy, but squishy enough where if you got in towards the pit, the peach would tear right off the pit and kind of have that dark, I don't know, pit flavoring or coloring on the fruit. That makes me smile just thinking about it. Wonder if that same vendor will be there today, and I wonder how the peaches will be. I wonder what the weather's going to be like. I wonder if that woman's going to come across and help me find the perfect peach. She could have been a professional peach picker. She did a hell of a job. I mean, maybe she's getting too much credit. Maybe the farmers that planted the peaches and picked the peaches and gathered the peaches and brought them to the market deserve some of the credit. But she was damn good. Will Bill Chill hopes the rest of my day is peachy. Well, I think it will be. I think it will be. I think I'm in a better place after talking to you guys for a little while. Hello, Maverick. Maverick, you've been gone so long, I almost forgot about you. How does that make you feel? Oh. Farmer Schmarmer. That's a good word, Schmarmer. It's too early. Maverick was partying last night with Kenny Battle. Hey, Maverick, I met a guy from West Aurora last night. Maverick went to West Aurora High School. Says he played basketball with Kenny Battle. Who am I to doubt him? I'll believe him. And a guy I met last night, I'm glad you hopped on. The sous chef, I guess, it's a nice restaurant where I work, and they serve very nice food. And it's a tiny little kitchen. I can't believe that kitchen and those people in that small space create enough food for the whole restaurant. It blows me away. It blows me away. I just don't know how it's done at all. And maybe I just don't know how it's done, and I haven't been in the kitchen enough and seen, how it works. But it amazes me because, there's a fair amount of tables. I don't know how many there are. There's probably, I don't know. I mean, at least 100 people could be in there. Like 40 tables, maybe. And this tiny, tiny, tiny little kitchen. And he was a young guy and a cool guy who made my dinner, my complimentary training dinner to go last night, even after he was supposed to. But I asked him, I said, hey, because the food looked beautiful coming out of the kitchen, and I asked him, he was young. I don't know how old he was. I did not guard him, but I would guess early 20s. And I kind of wanted to know his background, was curious. And he said he took I have a hard time saying this, culinary in high school. And they offered us, which I think is a neat idea, because I think a lot of times we go to school and we study math and science and geography and whatever, English, and not that those things aren't all valuable, but I think learning real world skills is pretty valuable as well. And I'll tell you what, he seemed to have a passion and a gift for cooking, and he went to West Aurora High School, which apparently offers a serious culinary training at the school, which I thought was cool, and honestly was a little surprised at. Hello, PBS Stats from Charlotte, North Carolina. Mortgage Juice toured a house in Tuxedo Park. Now we have somebody from Tuxedo Park. I'm not familiar with Tuxedo Park. You guys just chat amongst yourselves. Oh. But anyway, it's about 6:15. Halfway through my second cup of pumpkin spice. It's tasting really, really tasty. It's Saturday morning. It kind of looks overcast outside. And hello from Atlanta. Would have nothing really key going on until work tonight, which is kind of fun. Means I could do nothing or I could do anything. I could go get a peach at the farmer's market. I worked out yesterday. If you're thinking I look especially buff and huge, I did work out yesterday, which felt great. And got a bunch of stuff I needed to get done. Everyone's talking about Tuxedo Park. I don't like the name Tuxedo Park. I shouldn't hold it against it. I don't know. Any word with an X in it, I don't know that I trust. Oh. Well, it's full of history. All right. I'm sure it's lovely. But I've not heard of it. And if it's in New York, I don't know. I watch a lot of documentaries about Revolutionary War and such. Obviously, you go east, you that's what I found was a little strange for me. Because you go east and you think of the urban centers like New York or what have you on the East Coast, and you think of those as modern and big buildings, and Chicago the same way. And when you go to the West, I tend to think it historical and older almost. But it's not that way because you watch cowboys and westerns and all that stuff. But I'd go into a city in Montana that seemed like it was, it looked ancient. And it was founded in 1870 or something like that. And my hometown of Downers Grove was founded 1836 or something like that. So, I don't know. Let me see. And deer would walk into the entry for it. Huh? Oh, well, yeah, a little more coffee. Ken might like the Renaissance Festival. I might like how do you guys all know Tuxedo Park? I might like the Renaissance Festival. The Renaissance, is that is it art? Is it jousting for some reason? I think of famous artists from the Renaissance period, but for some reason I also picture guys on horses jousting, and I don't think that was from the Renaissance period. Hey Lisa, thanks for hopping on. Texas Renaissance Festival is the best. Apparently, They have these Renaissance festivals. I think we have one called the Renaissance Fair somewhere in Chicago. That sounds vaguely familiar. Maybe I'd like the Renaissance Fair. I don't know that I've been to a Renaissance festival or a Renaissance Fair anywhere. Maybe I should keep my eyes open and look for one. Mortgage Zeus, I think, is teasing me. He's saying it's knights, jesters, turkey legs, and mead. We have one of those. What's that called? In the Chicago area, if there's anybody from Chicago, that's in Bristol, Wisconsin. RJ will know. What's the... there's like a place you go. You can go with kids. You cheer for knights who joust and fight, and you eat chicken without silverware, and you scream for your knight of choice. I don't know. I forgot what it's called, but we have one of those up here in Chicago, and it's kind of fun. Yeah. Medieval Times. Thank you, RJ. That's what it's called. Yeah, but Medieval Times has jousting. The Medieval Times weren't the Renaissance period, but whatever. What do I know? Not a heck of a lot other than I'm going to drink some more coffee. So it's Saturday morning. My spirits have lifted. It is 6:17 in the morning. I have a fairly clean slate ahead of me as far as my day goes. And not sure what's on the to-do list or the agenda list, but maybe don't even need to know. I had my second night of training last night. I worked out. I did a lot of great things yesterday, and I woke today with some doubts, and I think I've worked through them and feeling okay, and ready to take on my day, no matter what it holds. And I guess I'm not going to worry about it a whole heck of a lot, because as I said earlier, the worry doesn't do me or you or anybody a heck of a lot of good. I know I'm moving in the right direction. I know I have a job. I get to go to work tonight. I know I have a roof over my head. I know I have 4 beautiful children I love. I tell you this. I don't want to, I'm trying to sign off, but I want to get on a sobriety high horse. When at the gym, does it help mentally, not just physically? Well, you feel great. Obviously, it feels great both physically and mentally. You're in an energetic place. You're hearing plates slap. You're hearing weights being lifted. You're seeing other people improve themselves. So when you're at the gym, it certainly helps physically, but at least as much important mentally. You know you're doing something good for yourself. And I'll tell you, physically, it takes a long time to see the changes that go in on our body from working out. You know, is it the 17th? I joined the gym 1 year ago today, by the way. It's my anniversary. Congratulations to me and Planet Fitness for our 1 year anniversary together. But no doubt it helps more mentally more than anything, because you get a mental boost immediately. But it takes a long time to see physical changes in your body. But you feel good right away. Oh. My sobriety high horse. I was thinking about it this morning, and again I was woke with full of doubts and wondering why, and I'm doing the right thing. Is this right or is this wrong? And worried about everything. And one thought that made me feel good is the thought that I'm not drinking alcohol or smoking pot anymore. Because if I was, the way I would have gotten through my doubts this morning, I probably would have trudged through the first couple hours of my day and then found an excuse, whether it was lunch with a buddy or a good game on or a golf match or some reason to crack open a beer, perhaps later this morning. And, I'll tell you what, before I did that, I would have smoked some weed. And when you smoke weed, you don't even need an excuse to crack open a beer. For me, they went hand in hand together. And I'm glad I'm not doing that because it's just too easy to snap out of a funk using drugs and alcohol. And it works until it doesn't work. And when you finally realize it's not working anymore, you're in a lower place than you started. And today, this morning, as I'm praying or gratitude or drinking coffee or building coffee with Ken, I know I'm going to get through these periods of doubt or wonder or question. But I know I'm going to be in a better place when I'm through it versus when I was drinking and smoking every day. I knew I was going in the wrong direction. And it soothed me mentally and made me feel a little bit better for a little bit. And I felt like I was partying. And even though I wasn't accomplishing anything, I was sitting on the couch drinking a cold Heineken and watching a golf tournament or what have you. And that felt like it was enough. But again, I realized it wasn't enough and that I could do more. And that I wasn't going to do more burying my doubts and my fears and my worries and my anxiety with alcohol and drugs. So gave me one hint of good feeling this morning. Going, hey, well, at least I'm not drinking or smoking, and I'm not going to drink or smoke today. So, yeah, I am going to drink some coffee. Heck yes, I am. But anyway, Saturday morning, I so appreciate you guys hopping on today. I hope you had a wonderful night's sleep. I hope you had a great, great week. I'm thankful for you joining me today. If you're new to my page, please subscribe to whatever social media you're watching me on. Because I have fun growing this. And I see it growing. And sometimes I have doubts. I woke this morning having doubts all over about Coffee with Ken and going, hey, is it worth it? Is it a distraction? Is it heading me in the right direction? And I don't even know if I got any answers, but as I was laying in bed and I was thinking about it the other day, and I posted a coffee with Ken Tuesday morning, and YouTube paid me like $5.68 for it. And I go, $5.68. That's something to build on. You know, you could look at it as, wow, that barely pays for a cup of coffee. Or you could look at it as something to build on. And I think if you look at it as something to build on, you face the day with a smile. And facing the day with a smile is a good way to face the day. So I appreciate you. I want to thank you for joining. And I appreciate you. All right, well, thank you, Kevin. Thank you, Will Bill Chill. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, RJ. Thank you, Maverick. Whether Maverick goes to the dispensary or not. And believe me, Maverick, I'm going, no, I'm not. I don't judge. I don't care what, you know. Yeah, I'll tell you this. There were waiters. You know, I don't swear. I try not to swear. And I try to do things, but I try not to judge as well. Try not to judge, and if somebody wants to swear or drink or smoke or whatever, it's not my, we're all on our own paths, and we're all on our own paths, and me guilting or saying, oh, that's wrong, isn't going to help anybody. So all I'm going to do is you do you, and do what you think is right. And I hope you have a great day. I hope you're feeling good. I hope you're loving yourself. I hope you're forgiving yourself. And as always, I hope to talk to you soon. Bye-bye.